Hi, I'm Sagnik and today I'm going to present our paper Few Short Audiovisual Learning of Environment Acoustics. This video contains spatial audio. Use headphones to hear it properly. Scene acoustics studies how sound travels in a 3D scene. It's affected by the scene geometry and materials. For example, hearing a symphony in a theater will sound different from hearing it in a living room. Hence, modeling scene acoustics is important for producing realistic and immersive spatial sounds that are consistent with the environment in which the sounds are emitted. This makes it useful for AR, VR, and robotics applications. Room impulse responses, or RIRs, are transfer functions that are commonly used to model scene acoustics. They capture how sound travels from a source to a receiver location in a 3D scene in the form of direct sound, early reflections, or late reverberations. Some existing methods require the full 3D mesh or dense audio samples from the scene. Other methods either make estimates using high-level reverberation parameters like reverberation time, energy decay time, etc. for the scene, which often affect prediction quality, or are restricted to scene locations for which scene images are given. In contrary, the main idea in our work is that, given a novel 3D scene, use a few audiovisual observation samples from it as a guiding signal for learning the acoustics of the entire scene. While dense coverage of a scene could require thousands of samples, our task requires learning precise scene acoustics from as few as 20 samples. On the right, we show the spatial audio intensity map for a sound source in the scene as inferred from the learned acoustics. Note how the inferred spatial audio intensity accurately varies as a function of the scene geometry and the distance from the source. More concretely, we introduce a new task where, given only few short audiovisual observations in an unseen 3D environment, the goal is to infer the entire environment acoustics such that it enables the prediction of impulse responses for arbitrary query source and receiver locations in the scene. Each audiovisual observation is egocentric in nature and contains the observation pose, the binaural echo response, and the RGB for the pose. Given the few short audiovisual observations, we learn a model that can take an arbitrary source-receiver pair as the query and predict the impulse response for it. In our approach, we take the audiovisual observations as input along with separate modality tags for vision and audio and encode them with separate encoders and feature fusion layers. We aggregate the fused features from all observations using a multimodal transformer encoder to generate an acoustic context of the target scene. Given the acoustic context, we use a transformer decoder to predict the impulse responses for queries of arbitrary source and receiver pairs. We train the model using a combination of L1 and a novel energy decay matching loss. Our novel loss tries to explicitly match the acoustic quality between the prediction and the target RIR and reduces the error in important reverberation parameters like the energy decay time and the energy ratio between direct and reverberant sounds. For large-scale experiments, we use the Matterport 3D scenes and the state-of-the-art spatial audio simulations from sound spaces. For additional experiments with real-world data, please see our project page. We compare against multiple heuristical baselines and two state-of-the-art models from the literature. Our model outperforms all baselines and existing methods by a significant margin for both seen and unseen environments. For more experiments on how our model can benefit downstream tasks like sound source localization and depth prediction, see our paper. Now we show sample RIR predictions in an unseen environment. The blue arrows show the few short observations, the red dotted square shows the part of the scene where the query is placed, and the black circles show the query. The purple arrows show the three most useful observations for the query as predicted by our model. Note how the most significant observations, as per the model, cover the general area of the environment that's most likely to influence the acoustics for the query. Here, we show the spectrograms for the ground truth impulse response and our prediction. Note how our model accurately captures the long reverberant tail and closely matches the ground truth both at the structural and perceptual levels. If you listen closely, you can also get a good sense of the source and receiver locations from our predictions. Here we convolve the ground truth and the predictions with speech sounds. This is the monaural for the speech sound.
And taken the royal forces by surprise.
This is the ground truth upon convolution.
Taken the royal forces by surprise.
And this is our prediction upon convolution.
Taken the royal forces by surprise.
Note the reverb is appropriate for the given source and receiver in the scene. For more such examples, see our project page. Thank you for listening.